Hello, everyone, and welcome to Crunch Time, a panel discussion show about your favorite topic, sports. I'm your host, Kirsten Kroll, and here we'll see three panelists battle it out to show who can come out on top. Joining us today are Chris Pearson, Nick Speliopoulos, and Blake Tyson. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good.
Pretty good.
Let's go.
Perfect. Are we ready to get into this?
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right. Well, let's dive into our first topic here then. On Sunday, the Philadelphia Eagles took down the reigning Super Bowl champion, the New England Patriots, 41-33. From missed extra points to a strip sack that was arguably the turning point of the game, it gave fans a reason to talk for the months to come. What I want to know is, what are your guys' thoughts on this year's big game? Chris, start us off.
I honestly think this is one of the best ones that we've seen in history. We've seen them getting better over the years because in the past you'd have a lot of blowout Super Bowls, and none of those are fun. That's why people watch for the commercials. Now people must be watching for the game because they're getting really good again. A lot of really cool things like the strip sack, like you said, but I think that a lot of those controversial, very intense plays, those are really cool. And then I'm personally not a Patriots fan at all, so I'm really happy the Eagles won. So overall, I thought it was a really good game.
Nick?
Well, I'm a Vikings fan, so leave it up to Philadelphia to make me cheer for the Patriots. Looking at the stat sheet, I was a little surprised. Tom Brady completed 58% of his passes for 505 yards and 3 touchdowns, and the Patriots led the game in total yards. They had fewer penalties, and they only had 1 turnover, but that turnover came at a really bad time. And the thing that surprised me most was it was Tom Brady to turn the ball over. It wasn't a suspecting running back or wide receiver. You don't expect Tom Brady, who already has 5 rings, to turn the ball over.
I think it was a great game. I mean, I was absolutely surprised with the outcome. I mean, Nick Foles, holy cow, he had a great game. 28 of 43 for 373 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had 1 interception.
Well, and that wasn't even his fault.
Yeah,
though.
exactly. It wasn't even his fault.
Alshon Jeffrey in some Madden-style throw.
Yeah.
What the heck?
But, I mean, Nick Foles really impressed me. But, I mean, I was really, I think they got bailed out a little bit by the officiating. I mean, the catch rule in the NFL all season has been, I mean, nobody knows what's going on half the time. So, I mean, it is what it is, but I think they did get a little lucky with one of them at least.
One of them, the one I would say the first one was a little iffy.
Yeah.
The Zach Ertz one was definitely.
I think
he
the
was
Zach
running.
Ertz one. I think the Zach Ertz one was more a touchdown
Yeah.
than not. But the
Yeah.
other one, I don't think it was. But
A little iffy.
I mean, Tom Brady really impressed me though. Especially, I mean, he threw for 505 yards. I mean, this guy he's unstoppable. He just is crazy.
Well, guys, that's going to wrap it up for our Super Bowl discussion here, but Nick, you're going to go ahead and get the point. I was also really surprised with Tom Brady's performance in this year's game. Not something that we typically see from him. Towards the end of the NFL season, we'd been hearing rumors circulate about the tension within the Patriots organization, particularly between head coach Bill Belichick and quarterback Tom Brady. After the Super Bowl loss last week, fans are now asking if the dynasty in New England is over and if the rumors that have been circulating are true. I'm excited to see your guys' take on this one. Nick, what are your thoughts?
I don't like when people ask if the dynasty is over. Is it over? No. But it is coming to an end. You still have weapons on your roster like the GOAT Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, and Brandon Cooks. And you also have the offensive coordinator in Josh McDaniels, who turned down a head coaching opportunity in Indianapolis. So, I mean, the thing that surprises me the most is everybody in New England, they're freaking out, thinking that their time is done. The interesting thing for me, though, that I found was Bill Belichick and Nick Saban haven't won titles in the same year. So I don't know if it's some coincidental thing or what it is, but I wouldn't be surprised if next year Alabama loses and the Patriots take home the trophy next year.
Well, yeah, I agree with you. I think that it's not even close to over. I mean, you saw, like I said earlier, Tom Brady's game. He was incredible, sensational. I mean, it's not like that's just going to disappear next year. And then, I mean, I think, Josh McDaniels staying is huge for that offense. I mean, yeah, there's a little rift supposedly between Brady and Robert Kraft and Belichick, but, I mean, Belichick doesn't deal with Brady on it. I mean, he does, but that's more McDaniels' job to deal with. And as long as they can find somebody to replace Matt Patricia, who's a great defensive coordinator, yeah, he had an off year this past year and a pretty bad Super Bowl, but if they can find somebody else to come and be a good defensive coordinator, I don't think it's over yet.
This is where I differentiate from you guys. I think it might be over because I think Belichick's time in the NFL is coming to an end. He's getting old and he's not going to be coaching that much longer. Tom Brady, I think he was staying around to get records. He won a Super Bowl. He wants to get another one. He wants to be great. I don't think he's going to be doing that anymore. He's not going to be continuing on. And like you said, Matt Patricia's leaving. Matt Patricia is one of the best defensive coordinators. You look at that. Their defense was not great. He made adjustments and made them better. Some Joe Schmo off the street who's not Matt Patricia is not going to help this team. And then you look at the AFC with other teams like the Jaguars that are stepping up and getting better at the same time.
Yeah.
I got to cut you guys off here on this one. We're out of time on this topic, but Tom Brady, from what I've seen from him this season, he is slowing down. He is not quite the player that he has been. And everything that we've been hearing, I feel like we saw it leading up to the Super Bowl between these so-called tensions in the locker room. So, Chris, I agree with you. You get the point. Prior to joining the Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Foles had decided that he was going to retire from football until a camping trip with a family member had convinced him to give it one more shot. Foles is now a Super Bowl champion and has proved himself worthy of being a starter in the National Football League after he lit it up this postseason. Guys, what should the Eagles do now? Blake, start us off.
Well, I think if you're the Eagles, don't just trade him for the sake of trading him. Like, yeah, he has value, so if you're going to do it now, strike while the iron is hot. But only do it if it's the right type of deal. It's got to be a deal that makes your team better. And, I mean, yeah, Carson Wentz is unbelievable, but ACL injuries are terrible. Like, people don't bounce back from those always. So I think if you don't move Foles for the right price and for the right deal, holding on to him isn't a bad thing. Because if Wentz comes back and he's not the same, and that's, it's good to have probably the best backup in the league sitting on your bench ready to go.
Chris?
I agree, except that I think Nick Foles will not be happy now that he knows he can win Super Bowls. With the right team, he can do that. And there are so many teams coming into this offseason with needs for quarterbacks. You got teams like the Browns, Broncos, Giants, Jets, just to name a few of them. There are teams that are looking for these players. Yeah, someone will get drafted. Someone will be in the other quarterbacks moving around the league. But Kirk Cousins will fill one of those spots. One place I think he could end up is in Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes because it'll be cheaper than Alex Smith was. And they can experiment, and if that fails, you have a solid quarterback where he's playing with Andy Reid, his favorite coach.
I will have to disagree with that whole Patrick Mahomes thing. I don't see him joining Kansas City because Patrick Mahomes is supposed to be the quarterback of the future for the Kansas City Chiefs. But Philly can't shut off trade offers. This draft in April is going to be crazy hectic. They're going to get a lot of different offers. But I think it, like you said, it has to be for the right price. I think the highest they can get in a draft pick is maybe the second round if they're lucky. Jimmy Garoppolo went for a second round pick. You can't expect a first round pick to be taken for a Super Bowl MVP in Nick Foles. The team that I think he might go to is Arizona. They're 15th in the draft. They're not going to get a quarterback prospect like they would want in Sam Darnold or Josh Rosen. So I think Arizona might be the team to give to Philly what they want so they can get a Super Bowl caliber quarterback.
We are also out of time on this topic. Chris, I think I'm going to have to side with you again on this one. Nick Foles, everything that I've seen from him so far this season, ever since Wentz went down, he's been phenomenal. He's put up the numbers. He's come in clutch during the big plays. He's not going to be happy just sitting as quarterback number 2 because at the end of the day, this is still Wentz's team. They're going to give him another shot. This year's NFL season may be in the books, but the moves that are going to be made in the offseason are going to be enough to hold us over until football returns in August. We'll have more on this when we come back.